Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your ultimate home for everything Liverpool FC. Today's episode is packed with drama and breaking headlines. Virgil van Dijk hits back at the Premier League after a controversial decision. Arne Slot takes full responsibility for the tactical slip against Man City, defending his players. And in a stunning twist, Kylian Mbappé has reportedly urged Real Madrid to sign a Liverpool superstar he calls one of the best in the world. Stick around, Reds. This one's full of passion, controversy, and transfer shockwaves. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Virgil van Dijk disagrees with Premier League statement as Liverpool captain slams decision. Virgil van Dijk speaks on Liverpool's disallowed goal and more after a 3-0 defeat at Manchester City on Sunday. Virgil van Dijk believes Liverpool were denied a legitimate goal at Manchester City as the reigning Premier League champions slipped to 8th in the table after a 3-0 defeat at the Etihad on Sunday. The Reds captain thought he had equalized after Erling Haaland had headed home the opening goal. But the skipper's leveler was chalked off with Andy Robertson, judged to have been in an offside position and interfering with goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma's attempts to make the save. The goal was disallowed, according to Premier League's official Match Center account, because Robertson was deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. Van Dijk disagrees with that assessment, while he accepts Pep Guardiola's City were deserved winners on the day. The Reds center-back says the decision changed the course of the game. I don't know who was on the VAR, Michael Oliver. I think, therefore, the officials at the stadium and the couple behind the screen have to make the right decisions for the game, Van Dijk said. Today it was decided the goal wouldn't stand because Andy Robertson was, for any reason, hindering Donnarumma, but I think the goal should have stood. That is all I will say. But I am not the one who is making the decisions. I think the explanation was just hindering the goalkeeper or something like that. But someone showed me a clip that Man City scored last year against Wolves, and the referee was Chris Kavanagh back then as well. I don't know, I've already said too much because the thing is, the decision has been made, we lost 3-0, and we don't make excuses in that sense. We lost 3-0, we have to take it on the chin and move on. How tough it is obviously a hit, but we have to keep going. Van Dijk now heads off for Netherlands duty, with the Reds 8 points behind league leaders Arsenal, and while international action affords the Liverpool squad the chance to move on from a chastening afternoon at the Etihad, there are lessons to be learned from a 5th defeat of the term, according to the club captain. Van Dijk added, "You don't forget about results like this. If you forget about these things, then you don't get better. You cannot only think about the good things all the time. You have to think about what went wrong today and how we can improve it. You have to feel that responsibility. I definitely do. What could we have done better? And you take that into the next games. I don't think there is any reason to get carried away. We faced some difficult opponents this week, and we got 2 wins from 3, and we have to just keep going. It's a difficult season so far for many reasons, but I am confident we can turn this around. It doesn't happen overnight. We have to keep working, and we need everyone to be fit to keep helping us. So that is the key for all of us in the dressing room. There's no point looking at the table for us. That is it. I don't think there is any point for us. If you lose as many games as we have lost, I don't think we can look at the table at this point, but I have been in the game quite a long time to know that seasons aren't decided in November or December. It's when it comes to March time, April, when it starts to become very interesting how it all shapes up there. We want to be there, but there's a long way to go and a lot of hard work to be put in. So we have to stay humble and we have to keep working. And that is the only aim and the only thing we should focus on. Recent results is why it feels maybe a bit more disappointing at this point because you worked so hard on those 2 games as a whole, as a team, to get the clean sheet and the goals that we scored. Arne Slot blames his Liverpool tactics for Man City loss and not my players at all. Arne Slot reacts to Liverpool's 5th defeat of the Premier League season as they are beaten 3-0 by Manchester City. At the Etihad, Arne Slot was forced to concede. His Liverpool team were beaten by a superior Manchester City as Pep Guardiola celebrated his 1,000th game in management with a 3-0 win. Slot, though, said the blame should be laid at his tactics and not his players, as they now sign off for November's international break in 8th. The champions succumbed to their 5th defeat in 11 Premier League games as goals from Erling Haaland, Nico Gonzalez, and Jeremy Doku gave City the result their performance merited in Manchester. Slot named an unchanged side from the XI that beat Real Madrid 1-0 at Anfield in the Champions League on Tuesday, but after back-to-back victories that began with a 2-0 triumph over Aston Villa last Saturday, the trip to the Etihad was a step too far, with the Reds head coach accepting his team were second best on the day. It's easy for players to win their duels if the game plan and tactics are working, Slot said. What I did against Villa and Madrid, we struggled now a lot with them bringing so many players into the center of the pitch. It was difficult for some of our players then to make the right decisions. It wasn't about my players not wanting to make duels. They had to run a lot because they were so much better on the ball than us. Our players were then sometimes too late. I would look to the game plan first and foremost of us and them, and not blame my players at all. In the second half, when we were doing better, you could see us winning much more duels. Then we were more than a few times able to win the ball, which didn't result in a goal for us. But in the second half, we definitely deserved a goal. Of course, everyone is disappointed. It was a very good start to the week, winning against Villa and Real Madrid, but if you've already faced two strong opponents and then you have Man City coming at the Etihad, that is always difficult for every team, including us. They were by far the better side in the first half. Slot added, they were in every aspect of football better in the first half. I saw a lot of similarities between last season and this season, with one main difference in that after we struggled a lot in the first 25 minutes, we scored a set piece. And that changed the game. City kept on outplaying us, but it did us to find some energy to keep defending well. Last season, they didn't create that many chances. Today, they created more, but it wasn't like they had chance after chance after chance. But this time, they were much more effective with the chances they had. The first goal, I don't think that's a big chance, but is quality. Third goal is not a big chance, but it's quality. Second goal is a set piece. Premier League fates decided at top and bottom as Liverpool faced serious question marks. Big debate. The Premier League had paused for the final time in 2025, as a struggling Liverpool side aimed to reset and keep up with the top two, whilst West Ham and Nottingham Forest have made things much more interesting. At the bottom, the landscape of the Premier League appeared to shift this weekend and both ends of the table after results that saw the pack tighten at one end, but stretch at the other. Arsenal's draw on Saturday opened the door for one of Manchester City or Liverpool to close in, and it was Pep Guardiola's side who took the initiative. They have looked back to their best in recent weeks and dismantled the Reds to sit within 4 points of top spot. City chasing Arsenal is nothing new in recent years, but the loss for Liverpool, and the manner of it, poses more questions for Arne Slot, who has now seen his team lose 5 matches in the opening 11 games. They can hardly afford any more slips-up, but are they already out of the title picture? But whilst the gap is growing at the top, it is shrinking at the bottom. Nottingham Forest beat Leeds on Sunday and West Ham downed Burnley to leave just 2 points between 16th and 19th. Wolves. Misery goes on, and history suggests they are beyond saving. Another loss for both Newcastle and Fulham means that only one win separates Forest from Eddie Howe's side in 14th, with pressure piling up on the Magpies boss, with attention now on England. Teams have a chance to take stock for the last time this calendar year and review where they are at. For some, there is renewed hope. Others are feeling the pressure, while some must be wondering what is actually achievable this year. Mirror's writers have given their take on the title race and who could be waving goodbye to their Premier League status come May, albeit there's plenty of twists and turns to come yet. Kylian Mbappé personally tells Real Madrid to sign Liverpool star, who's one of the best in the world. Kylian Mbappé has now got involved in Real Madrid's quest to sign one of Liverpool's best players, with a Spanish report revealing that the striker has told Los Blancos to get a deal done for the Anfield star in 2026. After signing Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool in the summer of 2025, Real Madrid are planning to raid the defending Premier League champions again in 2026. Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis Mac Allister, Florian Wirtz, and Dominic Szoboszlai have all been linked, but the most likely Liverpool player to turn out in Madrid colors next season is Ibrahima Konate. Konate is out of contract at Liverpool at the end of the season, and, according to Marca, which has close ties to the Real Madrid hierarchy, the France international centre-back is Los Blancos' #1 centre-back target. Madrid aim to snap up Konate next summer for a zero transfer fee when he becomes a free agent, with Fabrizio Romano among the reliable sources noting the Spanish and European giants' plan. E-Notices has now brought an update on Konate's situation, claiming that Madrid striker Mbappe is now personally involved. The Spanish news outlet has noted that Mbappe has personally recommended the signing of Ibrahima Konate to Real Madrid. Madrid president Florentino Perez rates the former Paris Saint-Germain striker highly and recognizes the impact he generates both on and off the field. Mbappe's message to Madrid came after the striker saw firsthand that Konate is a true defensive wall in the 1-0 defeat to Liverpool at Anfield in the Champions League last week. Strong in the impact, quick in the cut, and with qualities that make him one of the best in the world in his position, notes the report about Konate. Konate and Mbappe have known each other for years, with the two stars turning out for the France national team. Ibrahima Konate joked about Kylian Mbappé calling him. This is not the first time that it has been reported in the Spanish media that Mbappé wants Madrid to sign Konate. It was reported in October that Mbappé was going to speak to Konate during the international break to convince him to move to Madrid. Back in September, the Liverpool defender joked during an interview with Telefoot that Mbappé has been calling him regularly to leave Liverpool and move to Madrid on a free transfer in the summer of 2026. Konate joked, "He calls me every 2 hours." Madrid are known to use their star players during the international break to convince their top targets to make the switch to the Santiago Bernabeu. Earlier this month, Alexander-Arnold said on Amazon Prime Video Sport, "There was a lot of speculation, the Agent Jude stuff. It was more so in his first season at Real Madrid. We'd meet up at England camps and everyone would want to know what it was like behind the scenes at Real Madrid. He said it was incredible and he'd never seen anything like it. The drive from the whole club to win and the expectation to win. He talked so highly of the club and I'd made my mind up at the end of the day. I needed a change for me. I wanted a new challenge on and off the pitch." Konate and Mbappe are part of the France team for the November international break, and it is very likely that the latter will speak to the Liverpool defender again. Latest Real Madrid transfer news, Tottenham raid, Endrick truth. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur are planning to raid Real Madrid for one of their underused forwards this season. Arsenal are bracing themselves for a bid from Real Madrid for one of their superstars in 2026. And finally, reliable journalist Fabrizio Romano has reported whether Man Ut truly want to sign Endrick from Real Madrid on a loan deal in the January transfer window.